get Phil up here. What? No.
It's gonna be.
She speaks.
Okay.
So
I'm
we're
gonna stand up here again. Are we socially distanced enough? Here, I'll
Yeah.
stand here.
we're on. Go ahead.
Back to the front.
We're gonna sit down. Welcome back.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us for the Freeland Film Festival. This is our closing night and awards ceremony, so thank you for joining us in person and online. And I'll let Steve tell you guys a little bit about the video that we're about to see.
Yeah, well, anyway, thanks everyone for joining. Those who are watching this still online, you've got, I think, 18 hours more before the films are cut off. So, but we just want to remind this whole film festival is to support a campaign called End Pandemics. And there's 81 organizations involved in that, and some are watching tonight. So we want to thank all the filmmakers. We picked out the films that fit those pillars of our campaign, but there's also somebody who really wanted to be here tonight, in fact was here last week to help promote this film festival, and has been adding her face and voice to the campaign and encouraging others to do the same. And we interviewed her in the jungle the other day to ask her about her involvement in this campaign. So I want to now show a video with actress, philanthropist, and activist Jane Seymour on End Pandemics.
So I'm incredibly proud to be part of the End Pandemics campaign. We all know that we've got to end these pandemics somehow, and there always will be pandemics. But now I think, we're learning that vaccines and masks and, due diligence, just plain good behavior. Why spread a disease if you can do something about it? And what's really important is to find out where it came from. And it came from messing with nature, and humans did it. And doesn't matter what your belief system is, that's a fact.
I'm not going to give the full story behind Jane's dress there, which is beautiful, and we're happy that the designer is here tonight, Elka, with Sherry. But I can tell you that there's an interesting public service announcement coming up, being produced by our partner, AsiaWorks, with a great team. We're excited about that, to add that to our arsenal of public awareness tools in the campaign, and that'll be coming out in 2022. So we also have some awards for the fantastic films, and I'll turn it over to Molly here to help us finish the night with the awards. Okay.
Yeah, so thank you again for being part of the festival. We had 20 films in the festival. We had 18 online and 20 here in person at the Foreign Correspondents Club. And they were all really amazing films. I mean, we were choosing from over 200 films. We narrowed them down to the ones that you saw in the festival. And from there, we have a jury who helped us choose the 2 jury awards. And we also had our audience here at the Foreign Correspondents Club choose an audience award by ranking the films after the screenings that we had. So we're excited to share those with you, and thank you so much for joining us to be part of this festival and learn from all of these amazing filmmakers and panelists who we've had with us over the past 3 days. Now I'm going to ask Luis Palomino up to talk to us about the jury's process and the awards, and help to present the awards for the festival.
Hello, good night, everyone. Good night to those who are joining us here in Thailand, Good afternoon from those who are tuning us from Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, and good morning to those who are in the American continent. As a global organization, Freeland believes that the only way to work together towards a better planet is by creating efforts, alliances, and overall friendships among us on our planet. These powerful links will be using the same superhighway that viruses like coronavirus are using to spread around the world, but this time they will be using that highway for spreading something positive. We want to start a pandemic of consciousness, solidarity, and that's why we believe in the power of storytelling, in this case, films. Over 200 films were submitted this year to the festival. We as a jury only got to see an incredible selection that was presented to us. It was extremely hard not to give an award to all of them. I want to ask for an applause for all these filmmakers who were strong enough to raise their voices and portray the reality and the problems that they witness, for standing up for the voiceless animals or the vulnerable people of the planet. The jury is made of Kimberly Williams, filmmaker, Andre Kushlin, co-chair of the End Pandemics campaign, Phil Robertson, Deputy Director of Human Rights Watch Asia Division, and Luis Palomino, filmmaker and photographer at your service. To announce the award for Best Short Film, I want to invite Phil Robertson.
It's a great pleasure to be here. I am Phil Robertson. I'm the Deputy Asia Director of Human Rights Watch, and very proud to be a member of the jury for the selection of the films for the Freeland Film Festival. As Luis mentioned, it was very difficult. There was a lot of excellent films, and there was a tremendous number of short films from which we had to select a winner. And the jury had a difficult time doing it, but ultimately we decided the award for the best short medium length film of the 4th annual Freeland Film Festival goes to El Regreso, The Return, by Heriberto Gualinga from Ecuador. This film tells a fantastic story from a personal perspective of Heriberto and his family, all indigenous persons from Ecuador. It shows how people with knowledge of nature, with exposure to an understanding of the jungle, are able to live in dignity and finding their own ways to survive the pandemic. The fact that he and his family went back to the jungle saying, we're going to leave these sort of semi-urban areas to go back to the jungle to escape the pandemic as they had done in the past, indicates a deep knowledge of nature and the ability to have indigenous ways of combating the pandemic. It was a very encouraging film. It shows us that it's possible to live off the grid, and using really ancestral knowledge to find a way through this pandemic. It was exactly the sort of story that needs to be told, and it was the sort of story that really seized our hearts as members of the jury. It's important to understand also there was excellent cinematography in that film. The musical score really came from the people in the film, and it's important to have everybody, I think, really see that kind of film and understand that there is a different way forward in terms of dealing with the pandemic. We also want to give a special mention to 2 films that were excellent films but didn't quite reach the top level, but they are special mentions. They are mentions that we are very proud to say that Hani Tosh, Our Food Table, by the talented filmmaker and longtime contributor to the Freeland Film Festival, Farhan Umadeli. Thank you very much for this comprehensive film. It's an excellent film. Showed the incredible impact of global warming on indigenous people and environment, and it's something that everyone should see. Another special mention also goes to the short medium length category. It goes to Last of My Kind by Nicholas Brown from the United Kingdom. I think sitting here with the audience, people really felt very touched by that film. It was an innovative film, a smart film, a sharp film, a film that really showed what extinctions mean and brought it home to the audience, and I think a lot of people really appreciate it. So thank you, Nicholas, for that fantastic film. And thank you very much for inviting me to be part of the jury.
Thank you very much, Phil. Well, now we are going to announce the award for the Best Feature Film of the 4th Annual Freeland Film Festival, and the award goes to The Fever by Katharina Weingartner from Austria. The jury wrote, "The film makes a superb humanistic portrayal of frontline, decentralized solutions to a major public health problem, and highlighting the deliberate grind behind the political players in this game of greed. Another example of genocide at the hands of colonialists. The history is repeating, but this time the chain will be broken." The cinematography of the film is fantastic. The music and the sound design flows naturally with the elegant pacing of the film. Danke for this extraordinary film. We want to give a special mention to the film The Last Horns of Africa by Gar de Bruno Austin from South Africa. This is an epic film that everybody must watch as well. It's a film that shows like how there is a war in the rhino horn trade, and how like people is doing a lot of actions to stop the extinction of the rhino. And we're really happy that like this inspiring film was part of the festival. Unfortunately, there was only one award for Best Feature Film. And now to announce the Audience Award, we have some words from Steve Galster, founder of Freeland.
Okay. Before I announce the final award, the Audience Award, I want to thank also, I'm going to take my mask off here, some people who made this all possible. And I'm not going to go through full names because it's a long list, but these people know who they are and I want to recognize them. But Rich, Evelyn, Dawn, Tom, Marcella, Mix, Thum, Book, Fern, Simona, Luis, Andre, Phil, Kimberly, Asia Works, FCCT, B. Grimm, Pei, Niall, Jenny, Colin, Farhan, Ying, Jen, Heather, and Jane Seymour. Let's give them all a hand for helping to make this happen. And the person I tip my hat to most is our film producer this year, Molly Farrell. Who I keep telling everybody did the work of like 6 people and just masterfully. Really, really appreciate it. So the Audience Award, basically this was people who watched the movie here at the Foreign Correspondents Club, voted, and they voted on Tigre Gente, which, if you didn't get to see it, unfortunately, it's not on our virtual platform, but people got to see it here. We appreciate them allowing us to see it. An amazing film, an investigation, so many things between Bolivia and this part of the world in Asia, showing supply chains linked for jaguar fangs, but so much more. A very character-driven story. Folks in the forest of Bolivia all the way over to Hong Kong and points in between, showing how connected our world is and how wonderful some people are who feel connected to nature and are really taking it to heart to protect it as part of their lifelong mission. And so Liz Unger and her team did a fantastic job we had them with us last night, and we applaud them. So that completes the awards. And Molly, I think you've got a final note here. Over to you. Thanks.
I have to get my step stool to be tall as Steve here. So thank you guys again. And I'll just echo what Steve said. Thank you so much to everybody who made this film festival possible, both online and here in person. Thank you to everyone who has supported us near and far. And thank you to Steve for all the work that you've done, because you've done an enormous amount of work, and it would never have been possible. And Ricardo, who's sitting right in front of me. Thank you, Ricardo. Yeah, and thank you to the jury for all of your very, very thoughtful work in making these decisions. I know they aren't easy decisions to make, and you did a really thoughtful job. I'm very grateful to you guys for taking such care in making such careful decisions and great decisions. These are amazing films. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the festival and for contributing these amazing films. We're all closing the film festival very inspired and excited to see more, hopefully, at the next one. So, yeah, thank you. Don't forget that we still have about 17 hours left to watch films online. So if you're watching on Eventive, you still have time to finish the films you haven't watched yet. Maybe you heard of some films you haven't seen yet here tonight. So yes, absolutely. You still have time to do that. So anyways, thank you for joining us.